Okay, the name of this video is Should Christians Evacuate the State of New York? Okay, this is a very serious question. Should all Christians living in the state of New York evacuate the state? And why is this question coming up? You can look this all up on the internet. You will find tons of information about this. I'm just letting you know about it in case you haven't heard about it. Something called Rule 213 passed recently in New York's legislature for making laws. And it had previously been struck down. Now it has been brought back up, and apparently it has won and has now been approved. There's potentially one hope that it might be appealed in something that I've heard, I read, was called the Court of Appeals down here. But basically it is now being put into effect. I don't know what time or what day it starts, or I don't know exactly how that works. But if I was in New York, I would be pretty afraid of this. Okay. It allows people to be taken out of their homes for so-called medical reasons. And this is based on just the judgment of healthcare providers. There is no medical lab test. There is no right of refusal. They can just say you are in the vicinity of somebody who has a communicable transmissible disease, contagious disease, and therefore you must be quarantined. Okay? There's no medical test, no due process, no court hearing. There's no right of refusal. They just show up at your door and take you out of your home. It's involuntary quarantine. And to me, this sounds like a stalking horse. A stalking horse was a way that the hunter would pretend he was just a horse so the animals wouldn't be frightened, okay? And so what I'm saying is, this is, in my opinion, based on what I've heard about it, this just sounds like a pretext. It's just a pretext that they're going to use to arrest Christians and put them in concentration camps. This is communism that's pretending to be medical. So it pretends to be medical, like a friendly little horse here, the stalking horse, but it's really communism, okay? And the Democratic Party is the American Communist Party. Let's not be silly about it. It is the American Communist Party. There's nothing nice about it. Their number one goal is to get rid of Christianity. First of all, they want to get rid of the white male Christians who they hate the most because they see them as the former writers of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. They do not want any of this stuff about human rights. They do not want any of this stuff about humans created in the image of God. No. The humans are basically, essentially the equivalent of farm animals who they own and who must do as they're told, and they're going to do whatever they want with them. The farmer doesn't ask the mother for permission when it takes the calf and makes it into veal, okay? They see the Christians, especially the white male Christians, as the only group that could potentially prevent communism from taking over the entire USA and perhaps the whole rest of the world as well. So that's why they are the most sort of scapegoated ethnic group in the United States, because they feel that once they're out of the way, everybody else, in their opinion, the way they think, is easy to control. Okay? There's just not enough of them, or they're not organized or whatever, or they don't have a history or tradition of freedom, so they're going to be very easy to control. That is how they see it. Okay, I've read about these things extensively at other locations, and I know people who've told me all about this. You can look all this stuff up. You can look all this up. Every single thing I'm telling you, you will be able to easily find this on the internet. Okay, it's my prediction that they're just using this as a political thing. And so they're going to call it a medical thing to get people's trust and to get approval of it. But this is 100% political, in my opinion. And they've even got an ICD-9 code. ICD-9 codes are how medical things are diagnosed and billed. And they have a diagnostic code here, and the code is... you can look this up in 5 seconds. E978, and that is for so-called legal execution by, guillotine or related means. Okay, so why would they have it? Why would they have a ICD-9 code for death by guillotine unless they were planning to use it? And according to rumors on the internet, I don't have confirmation of this, but a lot of so-called people who know claim that they've got over 30,000 guillotines available for this. And this sounds to me exactly like a communist. To them, this would be a joke. Oh, wouldn't this be fun, to guillotine lots of Christians, okay? That's how they think. If you don't realize that, that's because you don't know any history. In the French Revolution, they wanted to guillotine as many of the Catholics as Christians as they could. In Russia, they killed over 65 million Christians, okay? This is what they do, okay? This is what they want. In Russia, they burned down 48,000 churches and killed 65 million Christians. Okay, that's the reality of it. The most barbaric sort of thing. You know, you've heard of Attila the Hun and all this other stuff. Okay, this is the most barbaric thing ever in the history of mankind, is communism, okay? And basically, it sees only one obstacle in its path: to get rid of the Christians. Once they're gone, they figure everyone else will be weak and easy to control. They're also going to have segregation in the camps where the men are separated from the women, and they're going to separate the children from the adults. And what do you think that's going to be? You've already heard all about this stuff, you know, what's been happening to children, all these missing children, millions of them. You've heard of them being, you know, the R word here. You've heard of them being trafficked. Lots of higher-ups, from what I've seen and read in the Democratic Party, are of this ilk right here, this word that starts with a P, letter E, then a D, then it ends in files. Okay, lots of them are involved in this TRAFF, and then it ends in ERS word over here too. So, not good. And that's why if I was a Christian living in the state of New York, I would immediately evacuate that state. Get out of there as fast as possible. Okay? So anyways, just letting you know about this. You can read all about it. Double check it for yourself. You'll be amazed at how far along all this stuff is. So, sorry to bring this message, but people should know about it.